that Forbes recently published a list of world's best employers. That list contains 800 companies from across the world. The problem is, when you go to the web page, you can only see 50 at a time. Now, if I have to search or look at all the list, I have to click next, which is okay, but I thought, why not do something better? Why not get all the data and create a nice Power BI report out of it? And that's exactly what I did. So if you want to see the report on browser and interact with it right now, see the link above. On the other hand, if you want to download the PBIX file and learn how it was done, then the link is in the description. So let's start with a blank Power BI report. In Power BI, we go to get data from web and then copy paste the URL inside. The problem here is there are multiple tables shown in the navigator. Why? Because the way HTML is written in this page, it is not one contiguous set of 800 rows. It is broken into multiple tables. So even if I select table one by one, I am not getting all the 800 rows. And I don't want to do this one by one many times. Now if you look at the bottom, there is a very powerful feature called table by example. Beautiful, powerful, amazing feature. So once you click on that, the entire navigator dialog changes. Now it is into two parts. The upper part shows you the web page and below it shows you an empty table. Just one column is shown. So click on the column and then type the name of the first company, which is Samsung. Press enter, nothing seems to happen. But wait, put the second name, which is Microsoft, and then press enter. Now it understands the pattern and fills the first column. So this is, you gave an example and it created a column. Very, very powerful feature. Now I'm going to repeat the process for the rest of the columns. So now we have all the data in the way we want. When you click OK or transform, we always click on transform because we want to clean the data, make sure the data types are correct. So click on transform. And now we have another problem. What it has done is it has actually picked up only 15 rows. It has not picked up all the 800 rows. If you go to the web page, you will notice that after 15 rows, there is an advertisement and it stopped there. This is something I could not handle on my own. So I talked to my mentor, my friend Raj Chaudhary.
नाम तो सुना होगा.
He saw the HTML, he saw the code. By the way, do you know where to see the code in Power BI? Normally, when we go to Power BI, click on this button, do this, do that, it actually generates code behind the scenes. That's called M language. M for mashup. That code is seen when you go to View tab and Advanced Editor. So when you go there, it is actually telling you what it did to extract the data from the HTML. Now this is a little complex, but just to understand how it works, there is a function called html.table and that is trying to find which rows and which columns to import. It looks very complex, it is complex, and you need to know HTML to solve this problem, which Raj did. With little bit of analysis of the web page HTML and the syntax of M, he was able to give me the correct syntax. So this is the default syntax and this is the syntax which we got. And finally, with all this, I actually got all the 800 rows in one stroke. Now that we have the data, let's work on it and create a nice report. Once the data comes in, there is one extra thing to be done at data level itself inside Power BI. Look at the column called country. Countries are across the globe, isn't it? Now, country is just text, but we need to tell Power BI to treat that column as a country column. So click on the column, go to categories and choose a category called country. That's it. Now we go to the report page. Of course, it is blank. So one by one, we will add components to it to build the report. We start with a blank page, of course. Let's make a simple table and add the relevant columns. I want to show countries on a map, so we choose the map visual, put the country there and also put country count in the bubble size. In the map, I also want to show people zoom buttons. So we go to the styling area or formatting area and enable buttons or controls. There is also a lasso select where you can select multiple countries with a rectangle and that acts as a filter. It's a very good feature. You should always have it in all the maps. So now I get cross filtering. What does that mean? I click on any country and it will filter all the companies in that country. So far so good. Now let's add another filter on employee strength, because there can be few employees, lots of employees. I want the ability to see based on any starting point and ending point which companies have these many employees. So that is called a slicer. So let's add a slicer visual and then drag drop employee field on it. And then it gives me the minimum and maximum currently, and then I can freely select. Very nice. Now this is going to filter both the map and the table. So the next thing is to add a filter or a drop down for industry. That's also a slicer. So add a slicer visual and drag drop the industry column onto it. Done. Now the last thing I want to do is give a total count. That's easy. We'll put a card visual and drag drop count of company. That does it. Now the problem is this is going to be cross filtered. Means people are going to interact with it, play with it. They will put all kinds of filters, which is good. Which is exactly why we created the report. It was impossible to do it in that web page. Do you realize? So now when you have filtered something, I want to give you a facility to come back to the neutral state quickly or reset filters. How do you do that? Well, first you have to go to the View tab and enable the bookmark pane. The bookmark pane allows you to add bookmarks, which is basically the current state of your report. Right now there are no filters, so I'm going to add a bookmark and let's call it all or no filter. Done. Now let's add a button and I'm going to choose an icon which is like a reset or undo kind of thing and map this button by using an action called bookmark, and we'll put all as the bookmark. That's it. That's how you have bookmarks mapped to buttons in Power BI. So that's it. We have created our dashboard. Now the next step is to publish it. Now publishing and sharing it with other people does require the pro version of Power BI. So far whatever I was telling you, by the way, is completely free for life. So you can take this report, save it as a PBIX file and send it to anybody. You are not paying any license fee to Microsoft. Many people don't know this, and that is the reason they don't use Power BI. Now that we are done, let's publish it to Power BI portal. Once you publish it, there are two ways in which you can share it, but I want anybody in the world to be able to see it. That is called Publish for Web. So you go to File menu, Embed, Publish for Web, and then you get a URL, which is the one which I have shown you above in the link. And that is how you analyze data from a web page and convert it to a nice, usable, relevant report. There is one word of caution though. This particular method and syntax we have used is very specific to the way in which the web page is written. So if you go to any other web page which has multiple pages, this exact syntax change may or may not work, but the concept will work. So the first thing you should do is share it with your colleagues, friends and loved ones, because they can also analyze data more effectively. And if you want to learn more, subscribe and click on the bell icon. And finally, so if you have any questions or comments, or if you face any problems, feel free to post them in the comments. I'll be most happy to answer them. But that's it for now. Thank you.